right, what's up, guys? I'm doing this as an IG live, but I'm going to post it on YouTube later. So if you're watching this later on YouTube and you're like, why is he on his phone? This is the reason why. But I'm sure you've heard the news by now. Donald Trump has officially been arrested by the United States of America. That's essentially what this is. It's Donald Trump versus the United States. I think that's actually going to be the case name. And so, you know, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't already know, but I'm not going to repeat, the same old talking points, but it is true. America, absolutely, we are officially a third world country. That's what we are. Oh, but Vince, the infrastructure. We are a third world country with first world infrastructure. That's really what it is. Because you look at our politics, you look at the way we treat each other. This is absolutely a third world country. And I'm not going to tell you anything that you don't already know. I do, however, want to point out two things. I want to point out what you notice in the liberal reaction to all of this, but I also want to talk about some of the fact that some conservatives simply just seem not to actually grasp this situation, and they're letting their personal, I don't support Trump in the primary, overshadow the fact that there's something very big and important going on here. So, first of all, you look at the liberal reaction on Twitter. It is so unbelievably pathetic. I mean, obviously they're celebrating and that makes sense. I know they're going to celebrate, but notice the way in which they're celebrating. The number of liberals I saw on Twitter today who were literally shilling for Hillary Clinton. They were posting celebratory posts about Hillary Clinton. That does tell you everything, right? And they keep saying, well, Hillary never got indicted. Hillary never got arrested. It's like, okay, guys, that's not the own that you think it is, right? Because all that's proving to everyone is that it's proving simply what we already knew, which is that you guys are the establishment. You guys control the system. Your system is very corrupt, and your system protects your own people. Okay, it's not exactly the own that you think it is, but it does tell you a lot. That attitude tells you a lot about liberals and their level of NPC drone mindset. They go out there and say, a former president got indicted. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of the kindergarten snitch. That's exactly what they are. You know, we've been getting away with everything, but teacher, he did that. That's the liberal behavior on Twitter today. It's pathetic. You know, we obviously know this, but it does go to show you. They are NPCs. They are incapable of thinking for themselves. Every narrative, every idea they get first must be approved and rubber stamped by the institutions, which is precisely when, you know, there's a highly obviously political hit job against the person. They look at it like, well, our corrupt DOJ indicted the guy, so he must be bad. You can't think for yourself. Absolute NPCs. And so that's the liberal reaction, you know, just ridiculous, pathetic. But to conservatives, and this is really the emphasis of this live I want to make, okay? The amount of conservatives I see out there, and I have to call this out, who are using this as an opportunity just because they don't like Trump, they don't support Trump in the primary, they're using this situation to dunk on Donald Trump, and they're essentially taking the same exact side of the liberals in this situation, is incredibly disgraceful, okay? And I saw this quite a bit. I have to say, I saw it quite a bit, okay? It is very telling how many conservatives out there seem to be more interested in, and I'll explain this in a second, with what is going on outside of the courthouse rather than what's going on inside the courthouse, okay? And what am I talking about? Well, you may have seen today, I see a number of anti-Trump conservatives going outside in front of the courthouse, and instead of, you know, covering the gravity of the situation, again, whether you support Trump as a Republican or not, it's a little bit bigger than that, okay? They're arresting a former president. That's not exactly the smallest thing ever, okay? The amount of people that I see going out there and just using it, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen some people. They're going out there making these videos where, you know, they're not talking about the fact, again, that this current president indicted the former president. Instead, it's, I don't like Donald Trump. Donald Trump, you know, Fauci, this and that. This is why I support my candidate over you. It is disgraceful, okay? And it's interesting because for all of the self-righteousness and self-seriousness that I hear from the anti-Trump conservative camp, you know, that they claim Donald Trump is immature. Your childish inability to see the bigger picture in this whole situation really does show how much they just do not get it and how immature they actually are, because that's what it fundamentally is. It is immature. It is immature to use your personal disliking of Donald Trump to just totally overlook the entire situation. This is much bigger than him. It's much bigger than your candidate. It's bigger than you and I, okay? And instead of covering that, I see a lot of people, and let's just say it, in the DeSantis camp, they're using this as an opportunity to go out and like interview some of these Trump supporters outside of the courthouse and say, look, look how stupid they are. Just ask them leading questions, debate them, try to set them up. Guys, situation's a lot bigger than that. Okay, it is much more important than that. And what it also fundamentally shows is that you guys are unserious, okay? If you're going to use this entire opportunity, again, when they're indicting the former president, this is a historic moment in the country, and all you're going to use it as a platform to like dunk on people outside of a courthouse instead of, again, talking about what's going inside of the courthouse, what's going on inside. That is unserious. That displays immaturity. And it really shows in many ways that people who do that specifically do not belong in charge of the conservative movement. Because again, if you are not able to see the gravity of the situation, if you're not able to understand and grasp, hey, I might not like Donald Trump. I may support a different candidate in this primary. If you're not able to grasp that the entire situation here impacts your candidate, it impacts every conservative in this country, and again, it's bigger than him, it needs to be talked about, not made fun of or dunked on, then why should we trust you in charge of power at all? And before you say it, let me just say this. If the same exact thing happened to Ron DeSantis, I would stick up for Ron DeSantis. I certainly would not be outside of the courthouse making videos trying to make fun of the people who are there and trying to show their support and trying to speak up against the political persecution of this administration. And you guys proclaim to be conservatives. It's disappointing. I'll say that. It's disappointing, okay? And and I will say this, I think you also should keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on every self-proclaimed conservative who, says, well, I'm all about it and this and that. And then the moment that they indict the former president, either A, they're silent about it, which says a lot, or B, they're actually siding with the liberals and making fun of him for it. Keep an eye on that. Because like I said, it's bigger than you or I, which means it's bigger than him, I should say, which means the moment that hypothetically, God forbid, you are ever facing those problems, let's say, they start turning that national security state against normal people. Those are the very first people who would sell you out. It's true. If they are unwilling to see the gravity of this, if they're going to use this as an opportunity, either A, to be silent, or B, to directly sell out Trump to the enemy, you don't think they'd do the same to you? They would. They would. So keep an eye on that, okay? It's just disappointing behavior to see. But yeah, I mean, bottom line conclusion, we are a third world country. This is third world politics. And, I suppose to a degree, you also have to embrace it. Not that I want to, right? Not that I think our politics should be that way, but I do think to a degree, if this is the way our country is going to be, if the enemy is going to constantly do nothing but wield revenge politics against us, to a degree, what choice do you have? If you want to set things back on the right track, what choice do you have but to not play the same game? So if you ask me, absolutely. I know J.D. Vance was talking about basically stalling all new appointments to the Department of Justice today. Absolutely support that. I think that's brilliant. I think, frankly, Biden is very guilty of document stuff himself. It's actually worse himself. House Republicans might as well go ahead and impeach him. Oh, he's not going to get removed. Doesn't matter. You need to bring attention to the scandal. You need to show that, you are going to be willing to wield power in the reverse. It's that simple. And, whatever power we have, I don't see a choice but to do the same. Because if they're going to play politics, reward yourselves, punish your enemies, what choice do we have other than to do it back? Because once they open Pandora's box of, destruction, revenge politics, either you can sit there and get destroyed or you can fight back. Because there really is no third option where we just restore decency to our politics overnight. It's sad, but it's true. Anyways, let's check out some of the comments here. Just because Democrats and the establishment are out to get Trump, it doesn't mean he didn't break the law. The guy had boxes of top secret information, refused to return it, and boasted, lol. Frankly, to tell you the truth, I don't care either way. Because if the other side's not accountable to the law, then why should he be? Literally, I don't care. I don't think he mishandled the documents. Well, I mean, we'll hear the arguments for both sides. But, fundamentally, it doesn't matter. You have to demonstrate to the other side, if you're going to do this, we're going to do this, okay? And I know some people will say, well, that's going to make things worse, and maybe it will temporarily, but at the same time, if you want it to end, you have to show that, hey, back off. Because, yeah, exactly, right? So, I don't know. I think I think we have to show that we're willing to use political power in the same way they do. At least flex that muscle. If you don't go through with it, at least flex the muscle. And I don't see another way to get through that. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end this Instagram live here because I got to go post this on YouTube, so I don't want it to be too long. But announcement, okay? So on YouTube, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to do so. Link in the bio. It's on, just go click on the profile. It's there. But we'll be live tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And for the YouTube audience too. We're going to be live streaming Trump's speech at 8 p.m. Eastern time. He'll be speaking in reaction to this in Bedminster, New Jersey. So be sure to join us then, ladies and gentlemen. Again, YouTube live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, streaming the Trump speech. But until then, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for our country. It's a sticky situation, is it not? And see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a like if you're watching on YouTube, and peace.